Welcome, welcome. So this meeting is actually going to be for testimonials for some of our members that are in Living Whole on Purpose. We want this to get out to everybody, for everyone to realize that it doesn't matter what perspective, what walk of life you've come from. When you're ready and you are drawn to seeing these words on purpose, there's a reason. And it's definitely up to you to decide when you're ready to be responsible for being the action of moving through, getting inside, and really learning that it's all about love in the end. Loving all those hidden parts of you, the broken parts you believed, the old belief systems that were holding you back that you didn't even realize till you started delving in, and layer by layer, getting to know each and every part of you. So I'm going to start to my far left and welcome Dreamer Divine. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you.
So what made you decide to take the leap and jump in and do this 8-week online course?
I'd have to say that it was just a feeling of being stuck in the same old routines, being stuck in a lot of chaos, being stuck and not really knowing why or what those feelings were about or just how to deal with them at all. It was just a feeling of stuck and not knowing where to turn or where to go.
And what was it that made you feel worth it or decide to take the leap for you to finally jump into this 8-week course?
I believe it was just a feeling of why not and what could possibly be wrong about it. I mean, investing in yourself 100% and figuring out, who you are and why you are who you are and all the reasons behind it. I think just when you're looking for stuff, you're willing to try anything at any point. And if you've tried other things and they didn't work up until that time, then I mean, what's the hurt, or why would it hurt anything to try something new?
So in the course, I want you to be honest, because this is who we are. We're real, we're raw, we're authentic. I want you to give me and all of our audience, all the listeners listening today, and what did you go through? The ups, the downs, what that you'd love to share that you were able to have that made you finally have those breakthroughs from where you started to where you graduated, that progress.
In the beginning couple weeks, you learn a lot about yourself and who you may not be willing to admit you are, or the things that you do. I found out that I was a complete control freak. And I felt like I had to have control over everything. I had to have control over things that got done in a day. I had to have control over my children. I was very much a helicopter parent. I was very much a controlling wife. I was very much a controlling person over myself in general, a controlling person around money, around a lot of things. And in the first few weeks, you delve into why those things are. And a lot of that had to do with how I was brought up, and a lot of repeat. I'd say it's a repeat, a programming that you get taught from when you were younger, and why those people are in your life for that reason is to bring you those things that, you can figure out that you do not want anymore. And when I was able to let go of those things or figure out how to work through them, it was a very, very freeing thing for me, to not have to worry about trying to be so many people at one time, and just knowing that it's enough to just be me in each moment, and not put so much pressure on myself to be and wear all the hats that I thought that I had to wear at one time. And so moving through that and getting to know myself better and learning how to breathe, how to segment, create, how to do all those things. So you just take things moment by moment instead of worrying about so far ahead, and just focusing on the now was a very huge thing for me.
Is there anything else you'd like to say to anyone that's just on the cusp of ready to jump in? What would you say?
Definitely jump in with both feet. Don't dip a toe in the water. Jump in with both feet, because you 100% will not have any regrets whatsoever. The support and the love that you feel during this course, and the support continuing afterwards, is absolutely immeasurable and invaluable for forever. You can continue to get support from people, and it's not a support that's fake, that's just because they're there, to do their job. It's 100% real and authentic, and you get to be yourself, and you get to be vulnerable, and you get to move through everything and feel the love of everyone all the time.
Wonderful, thank you. I'm going to move down to Majestic Mark. What are you on with us? Yes, you are. There you go. So Mark, what was it that made you decide to jump in and do the 8-week transformation?
I think, well, probably, I think it all started just with how I felt about myself, and sorry, I'm just in my band. The relationship with my wife, and I guess just how angry I was all the time. I had a really good business thought idea that didn't go through, and that was kind of a few months before the course. So it was just time. I was tired of the rage and outbursts of anger for no reason. I knew I wanted to dig deep and just be happier.
And so what was your progress through the weeks, and what were your takeaways today?
Progress through the weeks. I had a lot of support. That was probably one of the biggest things of this program, is how life-changing it truly is, with the support of yourself and the accountability coach, and the weekly meetings that we'd have, where everybody's kind of going through the same thing, but without actually answering or asking any questions, you can actually solve a lot of the maybe inner issues that you're having, or I found a lot of things resonated with me on a big level that really helped my progress to become and go deeper.
And so for anyone listening right now, what would you say to them that would give them a helping hand?
Man, there's so much about ourselves that we don't know. There's like Dreamer Divine said about the programming, from looking outside of yourself to make yourself happy. The programming that came from our parents and loved ones and friends, you can let all of that go. You just have to give in. You just surrender to the program, and you'll find yourself.
Find yourself, or recreate yourself now?
Recreate, yeah. Yeah,
awesome. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to go to Rachel. She's our newest graduating member that just came on to the life group today after just finishing the 8 weeks of definite breakthroughs. How are you today, Rachel?
I'm very well, thank you.
Wonderful. So what was it that made you take the leap at the time that you did?
Desperation.
And from there, you had a very colorful story with it. So what do you feel like sharing with those listening today of the ego traps or the fears or the resistance that you may have felt, and then what breakthrough happened for you to finally take the leap and really delve in?
Okay, for me, I say just, over the previous months started on my journey of growth, because I'd only just discovered my background and the way it had impacted on who I'd become. So I was doing my own work, and then something happened to upend my life to a point that I cannot possibly describe. And that was the point at which I saw the ad on Facebook, and I went for it. I thought, I need help. I don't know what I'm searching for, but I'm searching for something. And that's when I went for it. And then I had turned into a very cynical, very analytical, very judgmental kind of character. And when I first started the program, I thought, no, this is too touchy-feely, too non-British. I thought, it's not for me. It was the wrong move, and I disappeared. And then something even worse happened than had previously happened, which broke me. It absolutely took me to rock bottom. And that breaking made me think, well, it doesn't matter what I intellectually think about something has to give. I have to look for something here. At which point I came back and said, look, will you take me back and let's give it another go? And that's the point at which I surrendered to the whole process. That's the point at which I said, I'm going to go with it, because why wouldn't I? So there you are.
And what do you have to say to listeners right now? What do you believe you gained from these last few months?
For me, more than anything else, it's been the support that has been critical, because I kind of cracked myself open at the start of it. And at that point, I could start to let some of the reality of it seep in and get to me. And I couldn't have believed in it and stuck with it the way I did without the level of support that the whole process provides. So it's not just the guidance, but the support that goes with it, I think, is really critical.
Thank you so much, Rachel. That's one of the greatest things about this, the way it's set up. It's designed as a community, because we are never alone. And in our worst waking moments, we feel so alone. And when you realize it's all up to you, that you really are your own superhero, it doesn't mean that you don't have support. Every superhero known has a support system, whether it's Batman with him having his support system, Spider-Man. It didn't matter if it was an aunt, an uncle, a grandparent, or a professor, or whoever it was that's predicted. There's always been support. We've never been alone. And that's why this course is so amazing, because of the beautiful people in it. And it's not just the team aspect of living whole on purpose. It is all the members who are in it and have so much color that help you through. And the greatest thing with those Q&As every week is you get to see so many different perspectives, and everyone shares and uplifts everybody. And that's what the whole world needs, I believe. So I'm going to move on to Candy. Candy, what led you to jump into this course. And you also have a very colorful story, because you just didn't do the whole course once. You went in and actually did it again.
I did.
And can you let everybody know where you started from and where you are today because of it?
So I started as a depressed, anxious, controlling, self-bullying, overwhelmed person who just had so many different things in my life that I had no control of. I was here, there, and everywhere, making sure everybody else had what they wanted. Completely forgot about myself in all of that, and decided that it was time to do something. I've done personal courses before, and I know the gratification that comes out of just digging into yourself, and completely forgot for a few years of doing that. So I jumped in, and I wouldn't say fully with both feet. I did well, that's a lie. I did jump in with both feet to what I was capable of at the time. And through the weeks, I did grow into a deeper level of understanding and acceptance of myself for where I was and where I wanted to be. So I graduated the first time, and then I started kind of half doing the course again. And then I did the course a second time fully. So I would say I've done it 2.5 times. And just a different level of who I am and what I am the second time, knowing how much deeper I can go, because every time I go back to a week, it's so much deeper of the understanding of who I am and where I'm going. And I'm just like, today I can, instead of hitting overwhelm, I have solutions rather than sitting in and just procrastinating, which was pretty good for me to do. But now I can actually jump in and I can get things done. I feel accomplished every day. I can celebrate the small moments and the small things that I've done versus thinking that I've wasted a day and then bullying myself into not being where I thought I should be. And now I can just accept and love every part of who I am in every moment of every day.
And so what do you have to say to those listening today for them to take the leap and come and join our family?
You're your biggest investment. You will always be your greatest love. And when you learn to love every piece that you are and every cell and every level that you are mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, it's so worth it. And getting to know yourself and who you are deep down to the core is the most beautiful gift you can ever give yourself.
Thank you, Candy. Just to let you know, when we talk about going in the course, when you purchase the 8-week course, when you invest in and get in, this course stays with you the rest of your life. All of the guidance videos, all of the hypnosis audios are yours. It is a timed course on purpose because you have to get in, and most people need that accountability to really get in and have that drive. But once that is finished, you have groups that you're in the whole time. You just move into new groups as you move along, and we are always there. These courses, because we are growing all of our life, they're the biggest broken mind thought out there is when you tell someone to grow up, because we are growing up until the day we finally pass on. Because if we weren't, we wouldn't be learning anything new. So for us to know that we are growing every moment, in every moment, and we learn to let go of who we thought we needed to be even 10 minutes before is one of the greatest parts. And so after you've finished the 8-week, you'll be led in because of the tool belt you have of all the skill set you now have. And when you feel like you're taking a couple steps back, because we are human and we are experiencing life in the fullest, then you have those videos that you're guided back into that is calling to you, or an audio, so that you can go in and do that forgiveness or get rid of that emotional baggage you're starting to hold on to again, or have so much fun with understanding who you are as the kingdom. So I'm going to move to Luann now. Hi, Luann. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
What drew you to jump in to this course?
For me, it was, there was no resistance to saying yes. And I know the reason why is because I've always sort of segregated every part of my life into categories, like personal, family, career, physical well-being, mental well-being. I just kind of kept it all separately because I thought I could control everything really well if I did it that way. But prior to the course, I always felt a tremendous disconnection to, I guess, a reality that I wasn't aware of. Like, you don't know what you don't know, right? But I knew that it wasn't comfortable. I knew I was anxiety ridden. I knew where I was headed because I could look at the people in my life who are in those places. But I just knew that there was something greater. There was a better way to live and be. So for me, when I was introduced to the course, I knew the answer was yes, because it felt right. And one of the things with myself is, I always want to improve who I am, but I knew this course was going to force me to crack open and see parts of the truth that I had never looked at because, I didn't know how to. But I knew deep down that it was all connected. I just didn't know how to let go and accept help because that meant that I had to not be in control. So that's why I said yes, because I knew deep down inside that this could get me closer to a better place of, feeling and being for my life.
And so what did you experience through the weeks that you feel like sharing?
Well, it didn't take very long, and I really appreciated the fact that I had an accountability coach. That was key for me because, with it being an online course and during the time of life that I took the course, there was a lot of what felt like isolation and disconnection. So for me, having the accountability coach was so helpful. So I was able to be completely raw and open and not feel fearful of that, which is incredible. I didn't feel any judgment. So I was able to be honest with myself and say things out loud that I couldn't even imagine saying out loud. So really looking at me. And I experienced a lot of vulnerability, to be honest. But with that, it was like a complete releasing. And I was able to learn forgiveness. And I always looked outside of me, like, oh, I'll forgive that situation, that person, that circumstance, that thing. But it always throughout the weeks came back to me, always. So it was truly transformational because I now feel connected to everything. And I don't have to be in control of anything. I accept everything that goes on in my life. I look at every situation and go, what is this? Why is this happening? What is it teaching me? Why is it happening to me? I don't feel resistance to things. I just really learned week by week how to create a mentality and a mindset of true happiness and peace. And that doesn't mean that everything's pretty all the time. It just means looking at the situation and being able to acknowledge it, feel what's being felt. I can articulate my feelings better. I can release and let go now. And I learned all of this throughout each week because I learned the tools. So now if you were walking into my home, you would see messages and signs up on my walls. And they're all the things that I learned throughout the course that helped me stay on course always. And even though I took the 8-week course and, like others, I've revisited parts of it, I feel like I'm never going to stop using the tools that I learned. So I am not afraid. Bring it, man. I could take it all. I can get through life now, and I don't need to feel this insane, incessant need to control everything. And so for me, every single week was about seeing the truth, right? finding a way to connect to the process. And like, to be honest, I learned how to love myself. And I didn't even know it was my birthright to love myself or to just be 100% unconditionally loved. And that was so freeing for me. And it's nice to hear that in words, but it actually transformed who I am. So I don't know why anybody would deny themselves that healing, because I feel like at 40 years old, I'm starting my life now. Like, I just feel like, man, I wish I had learned all of this. I wish somebody had taught me about this, but everything happens on purpose and I'm cool with it. I'm just so happy that I've got a whole lifetime to live now, and I can do that with, I don't know, the tools that I have. And I know I have a lot more to learn. I'm not trying to be, ego-y here, but I just sincerely do not feel afraid anymore. And I love myself now, and there's nothing that's more important than that.
Thank you so much. So like we've spoken within these testimonials today, and these are just a short amount of people that are in our life group right now. But not everybody felt good behind a camera for a testimonial today. Some people like to be more confidential. And that's fine, because one of the biggest things we do hide behind is being invisible. And that's all a part and parcel of the more that you love yourself, the more you're here on purpose and you have nothing to hide from anyone. And again, in these courses, it's not just an online course and you're left to yourself to try to figure things out. I am a support ticket away. For one, I am with you. You're learning from those audios. You're learning from the hypnosis, which is rewiring the neurons within your brain to let go of that broken mind. It unravels all of those old belief systems, and you get to take a look at them. And the greatest thing about it is you really do end up looking back at it and looking at how silly it was, of the certain little things that held you back from who you really want to be. And it's not massive things that maybe a lot of people think that is going on. Many people, the moment they come for any form of hypnotherapy with me, any form of treatment, there is so much anxiousness because the ego knows change is about to happen, and the ego has only been taught to be in control. And it's once you start allowing yourself to feel from your heart, allowing yourself to be directed from that beautiful place of feeling that has been disconnected and you felt separated from, is a massive awareness. The accountability call coaches, the greatest thing that you'll find out is that everyone that's a part of the team on Living Whole on Purpose had to go through the 8-week experience, because we don't believe in being hypocrites. We are all human. We all have what were broken mind issues because of indoctrinations that are ancestrally going through. And so, yes, there is a need for support. And those breakthrough call coaches, who are the first people that are our first responders in this course, they're the ones talking to you. And they had to have gone through it because they need to be able to help you understand what's going to be going on from their perspective. And when we are real and we are raw, we are authentic. And our authentic selves are the most beautiful expression. So the greatest thing about that is we also put you onto a group at the time while you're in the 8-week course, so that other people that are in the group are there, and we're there to support you as well. The Q&A calls once a week where everyone hops on, and there will be people from different weeks that are on there that have such great words of wisdom to say to people that are maybe a week or two, or that are just beginning of where they were, where they're starting out, where they've gotten to, let alone your once a week accountability call. And after that, you graduate, but you haven't graduated life. You've graduated getting through the times part of the course, but then we move you into the life, because this is support for life, because we are growing the rest of our lives. And the connection we make with you is family, and it becomes you become a part of our story, because we've walked with you and loved you up along the way. And it's a beautiful experience. And so to know that most of the people that I've talked to that have gotten through the course, one of the biggest things that they will say is they miss the accountability calls. And that's why the life group comes on. And so we want to keep continuing that support system. So we're constantly growing and changing in order to help the rest of our community feel and get the support that they're looking for as well. So thank you all for being here and sharing your colored story and testimonials to everyone that are listening to these words today. And if there's one thing I would say to any of you today, you're here on purpose. Everything is happening on purpose, no matter how big or small you think it is. And when you realize that you are ready to finally break through those broken mind traps, we're here. We're just a call away, or a text, or an email. So I want you to have the greatest day of your life and know that you are loved beyond measure. So thank you all for being a part, and everyone can open up their audios. And if there's anything you want to say to anyone before we end this interview process, let it flow.
I just want to say that when you make the decision to take and go through this course, the most amazing feeling and the best thing that you could do is just go back and look at your notes and look at everything. And it doesn't matter what part you're on, what week you're on, whatever, just looking back to see how far you've come always is always so fulfilling and such an amazing feeling, because you found the course and you're doing the course, and everything, like Tracy said, is on purpose. And it's an amazing feeling to know that, that you're worth it and you're doing it, and you can feel it. You can feel the change, and you can see how far you've come, and you can just be so proud of yourself for that. It's an amazing feeling.
And I'd just like to say that if you feel like your world's out of control and it's one thing after the other and you don't even know where to begin, or you're totally disturbed by things that you feel as far as who you are, or situations that you're in life, and you're just at your wit's end, and you've tried it all, you've taken every self-help course, read every book, and you're just at a loss, here's your place. We have you, and you'll completely grow from the program. And it's not a quick fix, like what was mentioned already. It's a lifelong process, and you're always going to be cared for and supported as you go through. It's just been a safe place, and I'm not sure how any one person can get through all that they've encountered in their life and not have the best relationship with themselves. And that's where it's at, and that's what this is about. And so if you are ready, we're here.
I just want to say, like everybody else, you are worth it. No matter what you're going through, whatever you're feeling is, it doesn't have to be your new normal. You can be so much better. We are so much better, and we're here for you. So make the call, make the change.
Awesome. Thank you all. We will see you hopefully soon. And for all of you who are ready, dive in. Have the greatest day, because you can. And if you don't, it's on purpose.